What's good with y'all, man? It's Rasfano. Gotta get in the lighting. Ooh. Look, I'm talking about NoFap because today is my 100th day semen retention anniversary, right? And yesterday I was wondering, man, I haven't had a wet dream in a while, right? Nocturnal emission is when you nut in your sleep, right? I was like, man, I haven't had a wet dream in a while. I woke up this morning, bro. It looked like a crime scene. It looked like a crime scene. It was a mess, all right? It was a mess and I had to clean it up, but honestly, it is what it is. It doesn't count as a relapse, but anyway, I'm in too much detail. That was weird, but I'm talking about NoFap. I'm talking about semen retention. Now, I still get a ton of questions, right? Because I kind of switched my channel. It used to be all about NoFap. It was like my NoFap journal, right? I'm going to get back on the NoFap because No Nut November's coming up, and we got to spread awareness. We got to spread the word. Now, I'm talking about NoFap. If you aren't on NoFap or semen retention, or at least giving it a shot, and you are like on the spiritual journey, or you still have anxiety, you're trying to like actively better your life, then you got to try NoFap. Try semen retention. That's a main thing. Like I said, I'm rebuilding, man. And NoFap is a key piece. I said NoFap is like my Zion, right? Now he's hurt right now. NoFap is like my Luka. I'm a Mavericks fan. NoFap's like my Luka. It's a key component. But look, the reason I'm saying this is because, bro, you got to understand the main thing with NoFap, with semen retention, is that you're finding out beneath all the fog, beneath all this bodily urges that you have, you're finding out who you really are. I made a video about this. Whenever I used to get stressed or whatever, I would jack off. I'd get the feeling to jack off, or I got horny, right? You feel horny and you act on it. It's like Pavlov's dog. I said this before. Feel horny, jack off, have sex. Feel horny, watch porn. Like that was like your instinct. But why? You got to take a step back. Why am I jacking off? Why am I getting rid of these urges? Or why am I getting rid of this feeling? Why is it so bad to have this feeling that I need to get it away? You got to understand, whenever you feel horny, bro, you have hella motivation. And as soon as you're done, you sit there like, ugh. And then you have that post-nut clarity where you look at the girl, you look at your hand, you look at the screen, you're like, I don't even, like, why am I doing this? It's like a monster took over you, right? It's like an out-of-body experience. Someone took over you because it has a power over you. You got to understand it has a power over you. You know that post-nut clarity? You look at the girl and all of a sudden it's like, wow. I said this before. Once you nut, bro, you're left with yourself. And yourself is like, wow, look at what you just did. For this temporary pleasure, wow. Like, you are pathetic. You are weak. You're a slave to your body. Why would you be a slave to something that is on this physical dimension? You know what I mean? You got to understand that every time you jack off, do drugs, something physical, it's keeping you grounded here. Alan Watts even said, it's good to get out of your mind. You never want to be too rational, too grounded on this earthly dimension, right? You want to be out of your mind a little bit. That's good, right? You don't want to be that person who's super logical, super grounded, doesn't believe in anything but science. You know what I mean? And even if you're doing NoFap, bro, there's hella scientific benefits for it. If you think you're going to get prostate cancer or yada, 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 bro, come on. Jesus was on NoFap, Gandhi, all these people were on NoFap. Hella people are on NoFap, right? You have power inside of you. Right? You got to understand, you're associating yourself with feeling, right? A feeling isn't you. What you feel isn't you. I made a video about this. You stay consistent. These feelings, they come and go. You feel horny, but then you act on it because you think that's you. That's how you've been conditioned to think. You think that's you. You get an urge and then you act on it. I compared it to a kid, right? Parents try to teach their kids, hey, whenever you feel angry or sad, you don't have to scream and yell and punch a wall. You don't have to control your emotion. I compared it to that. You're like a little kid if you feel an urge and then you instantly act on it. You're like a child. You have no control. You're a slave, bro. You have no control. In the end of the day, you are supposed to be in control of your own destiny, of your own life. But rather than that, you're taking shortcuts. You're not overcoming anything. You're just acting. You're reacting. There's a difference between reacting and responding. There's a difference. Respond. You respond to adversity. Don't react to adversity. Don't react whenever you feel a feeling, then you just react. First urge. Take a step back, bro. Be like, what am I really doing? Why am I going to jack off? Hold your nuts, man. You will feel, and it's going to be hard. Like I said with the karma story, Alan Watts with the debts. Once you leave town, everyone wants their money because you're leaving town. And they know you're moving on. They want you to pay up. It's going to be hard. There's going to be urges, but it's because you're leveling up. You're moving on. You're not maintaining. You're not staying at a comfort level. You're evolving. You're leveling up. You got to embrace the pain. You got to embrace the change. At the end of the day, Like, I'm at the point where I embrace it. I embrace pain. Through pain, through trial, through adversity, that's how growth comes. That's like a law of the universe. I compared it, right? In a video, I said it's like they try to make like a boxed in like environment, right? Like a controlled environment over a dome with trees and whatnot. But it never worked. It never thrived. It always failed because there was no wind. There was nothing like, and the trees were flimsy. Everything was just off because there was no adversity. There was nothing to make them stronger. You have to understand it's duality. It's the balance of life. In order to get stronger, you have to go through something that is going to weaken you, at least for the time being. It's like muscle growth. You got to break down the fibers in order for them to rebuild stronger, or else they would just stay the same. It's like your muscles would be like, okay, I'm lifting 10 pounds every single day. There's no reason for me to grow. And then you throw on 45, it's like, okay, now all of a sudden it's serious. I need to grow. I need to grow, like right now. You know what I mean? That's the fact of the matter. Now, hold on. Look at my boy. Let's see a trick. Ooh, we got Tony Hawk's Scooter Edition in the building. Now, look. The reason I'm saying that, though, and I totally lost my... Oh, yeah. Your muscles. Your muscle would be like, bro, it's 10 pounds. There's no reason for me to go because you're comfort. You're trying to just maintain. Be different. Be legendary. Do something different, man. Try something different. Quit just being the norm and just acting on your bodily urges. Be a master of your mind. Cold showers help, too. Look at this dog, man. Everyone's trying to come over here. They know NoFap's a... Aw. But look. I'm telling you, man, be different. Do something different. Try NoFap. There's a reason why, like, I would never tell my homies I'm on NoFap. Or when I did, bro, they'd look at me like I'm crazy. Or I'm not going to have sex. They'd be like, what? You got to understand, when you're not focused on pussy or sex or masturbation or feeling horny, you're focused on the right things. You're clearing up the fog, man. The body wants what the body wants, but it wants instant gratification. That's all this world's about. Instant gratification. How can I be gratified right now? You want food, you go to McDonald's, it's right now. You want sex, you look at your phone, it's porn, you trick your mind, you got it right now. Right? That's how it is. But you want results, you want to lose fat, you want to gain muscle, it's not instant gratification. You got to ask yourself, why are people fat, unhealthy? Because they eat a donut because it tastes good in that moment. They know it's bad for you. They know it's bad for you. They know lettuce is a lot better for you. Broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, anything, bro. Literally anything. But no, they don't want it in that instant. They want something, and then they get conditioned in that way of thinking because they associate so heavily with that feeling. You got to ask yourself, too. You're associating super heavily with that feeling, right? Then ask yourself, okay, you're associating heavily with that feeling. Now what happens when you feel depressed or you feel sad? You are associating. You're like one with your body with what it feels. Your body feels something, and that's you. That's how you're trained to think. What happens when you're sad? You get into a spiral effect and it goes downhill quickly. Very quickly. That's why I say NoFap will help you, bro. Depression, anxiety, you're detaching yourself from the feelings that you're feeling. Because if you act on the feelings that you have, then you feel sad, you feel anxious, it's going to amplify, or it's going to be like 10 times worse than it really is. Because you're not going to have that ability to step back and say, this isn't me. This feeling isn't me. Right? You stay constant. You're the person who's with yourself forever. You don't feel horny 24/7. It's a feeling. You don't feel mad 24/7. You don't feel happy 24/7. We're humans. We experience emotions. You're not supposed to act on an emotion because that's acting in an instant. Instant gratification. Why would you act in an instant? That's never the point. Good things come to those who wait, man. I promise you. I live by that. What's real will prosper. Good things happen to those who wait. You're acting in an instant. And that's how I was. I felt a feeling. Right? I wanted to eat a donut because in that moment, it would taste good. I didn't want to go to the gym because in the moment, it would suck. You got to really boil it down to the root, too. Things that are beneficial to you are always going to kind of suck in the moment. That's just how it is. Like I said, the universe kind of will test you. God will test you. You want the reward, you got to be ready to pay the price. You got to be ready. And is it so good if everyone can have it? Everyone feels good eating a donut. But what happens when you take a step back and you say, I'm not going to eat the donut. I'm going to eat something healthy. No one really loves going to the gym, especially in the beginning. But then you can become addicted to that feeling of leaving the gym and feeling like you accomplished something and feeling like you can do something. Right? And you're gaining a confidence. And over time, there's a reason you're depressed. You're laying in bed. You're jacking off. You're looking at porn. It's instant gratification. You think it'll satisfy you, but it never does. It's a temporary high. And then it only gets worse and worse and worse. I made a video about this. That's how addiction starts. Your searches get more and more modified. You're like a drug addict. You just need your fix. You up the nicotine, you up the dosage until you're at a point where you look back. What the hell, man? What do I do now? And you're left with yourself. Take away the stimulus, man. Dopamine fast. Cold showers. Get control over your body. Realize that what the body wants, you can do what's contrary and still live and reap the benefits. Because you got to understand, you always have to live with the repercussions and the consequences of your actions. You have to. That's just the law of the universe. You choose something good, it's going to suck in the moment, but guess what? You're going to live with that decision. Understand the long-term effect of what you're doing. You jack off, it feels good in a moment. In the moment, it feels good, but you live with that decision. And afterward, you have post-nut clarity when you're with yourself, realizing that you shouldn't have done it. And you know you shouldn't have done it, but your body has control over you. Ask yourself, here's proof your body has control over you. You ever jacked off or done something and instantly regretted it, but then you get the feeling you should do it again and you do it? That's a sign that your body has more power over yourself. That's never a good thing, man. And trust me, I've been there, and it's not easy, but it's very doable. It's extremely doable. I have a video on how I overcame addiction, but it's very doable, man. And this is like a #1 addiction in the world, and nobody talks about it. Social media, all this stuff ties together. You start to realize that. Depression, anxiety, jacking off, masturbation, instant gratification, eating unhealthy, drugs, it all stems from the same place. It's instant gratification. You post a picture and you get likes, you feel up for a little bit, but it's not sustainable. The Buddhist had a saying. Dang, my thing's about to die, but the Buddhist had a saying, right? The Buddhist had a saying. My mind's blanking, but the Buddhist had a saying that cravings lead to suffering. If you put value, or you have a source of happiness from something that is not you, that is not sustainable, not eternal, you're destined to suffer. Think about that when it comes to jacking off, when it comes to addictions. Get your priorities straight. A person who is on NoFap, who is one with himself and not a slave to his body, has his priorities straight. He's not acting on bodily urges. You start to cut the BS. You start to cut the BS. You start to act right now. You stop wasting time. Like I said, how life is kind of like a maze. You stop wasting time and going the wrong way. You start going the right way, man. You start trusting yourself. You cut out the BS, man. Things start to manifest faster. But anyway, man, that's just my little rant, bro. I'm sorry if I came off strong, but bro, it's because I'm passionate about it. NoFap changed me. Honestly, changed me. It was the first thing I ever did to like enhance myself spiritually or whatnot. It really was. Like, truthfully, it was. That was the first thing that I started to do. And then once you overcome that, it's like you have a realization. And if you're on NoFap, you know this. You have a moment of realization where you're like, yo, like I can actually like overcome what my body wants. Like, it's like, what? Like, no one ever told me this. But sometimes you got to figure it out for yourself. But you have a realization, like people will tell me all the time. Or this one guy told me, he's like, bro, now that I know that I can control like my bodily urges, like it's a whole new ball game. Like it's totally, like he like looks at life so different. I was the same way. And when I seen that, I was like, man, that's sick. That's dope. Because that's exactly how I felt. And you could feel the same way, bro. It's a whole new ball game. You realize, yo, I have control. What else can I do? You start to get in healthy habits. You start to manifest quicker. You realize life, bro, life is a game. It's a game. And I mean, you could play to win or whatnot, but at the end of the day, bro, it's a game. It's more like a marathon than a race, right? People don't win or lose. It just depends how far you can get. But anyway, man, that's NoFap. That's semen retention. It's been 100 days. Just try to stay away from females. It starts on the internet, on Instagram. Stop associating them with like happiness, that you're trying to live up to what they want or whatever, you know. For females, stop trying to live up to a guy's expectation and vice versa. Because that's where it all starts. That's why you jack off. You're seeking like a validation, right? That was like kind of why I would have sex or whatnot or post pictures, because I wanted validation from someone else. Then I started to detach from this body and realize the external isn't all that. And that's all that this world values is external, right? I'd rather be at peace with myself and at war with the world than at war with myself and at peace with the world. You know what I mean? That was from Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace. But it's true, man. It's true. And people would rather be in internal chaos than in external chaos, because they care so much about other people's opinions. It all stems together. Start with NoFap. Start with semen retention. And man, I'll catch y'all, man. Rasfano.